So the next item we're going to talk about are variables. They're one of the key building blocks or Lego pieces, if you want to consider it that way, for programming. They are what allow you to keep track of specific pieces of data that you want to manipulate or change while your program runs. They come in several types. And to be honest, the easiest way to think of variables is like a box. So let's go. So variables, think of them like a box. Only with this box, you have to say what it holds. And you have to give it a name by which you will call the box or identify the box. Let's say, as an example, if you were moving, you might write living room on one of the boxes so you knew that you had living room items in it. That could be the type. And if you just called it box 1 would be the name that you're calling it by. It's a little generic and maybe not the clearest, so I'll actually go ahead and throw a couple of variables in here. So the syntax, if I can type. Okay, syntax for a variable is going to be your type. Name. So type a name, that's enough to create a variable. In addition to that, you can assign a value to the variable. That's the actual data that it holds. So name, you would use the assignment operator, which is the single equals. And we'll just type value since we're not doing anything specific here. The third way you can do the variable is you can do it all in one line. You do the name, type a name that's creating the variable, and we'll use the assignment on the same line. So you can declare a variable and assign the value later, or you can declare the variable, and if you know what value you need in it, you can assign that value right away. Example of this, we'll go with a bool value, which is true or false. We'll call it program running. And we'll assign it the initial value, or in this case, we will assign the value later. So there we have our variable. I'll come down here somewhere later in the program. Maybe we've gone through all the initialization steps. We're going to enter the main loop that keeps it running until we're ready to quit. At this point, we're going to say, yes, the program is running. So we assign it the value true. And if we want to do that all in a single line, I can't use the same variable since it's already declared up here. So we'll call it program is running, just so they are distinct. So here we're using a bool that is the type, the name, in this case we're calling it program running, and the name for the second one we're calling program is running. There are several different, there's two primary different types and several subtypes within them. The two main types of variables are called primitive. Those are the built-in types. In this case, I'll list a few of them off. You have Boolean, you have byte, you have short, you have integer, you have long, you have signed, unsigned, which those actually modify integer, signed versus unsigned. Signed means it can represent negative and positive values. Unsigned means it only represents the scale from 0 to the maximum positive that it can hold. Then you have float, double, and decimal. Each of these types has their own specific ranges of values they can represent. I'm not going to go through that now. It's in the notes and in the readings and can be quite dry. So I will let you go through that at your own pace. And hopefully you remember it from SDI. The other ones I forgot to mention, I was using here bool, then char for character for one single character, and string for a string of characters. The second type of variable is called a reference type. You'll actually get into those in the second lesson, because you'll deal with more when you get into classes.